Hi, hello and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto and our epic journey through the history of Formula 1 continues today with the 6th round of the 1969 season, the British Grand Prix. It was held on the 19th of July. It had 17 entries. All of them took part in the race, but 7 ended up retiring. The race was held over 84 laps and was completed in 1 hour, 55 minutes and 55 seconds. Jochen Rindt started the race from pole, Stewart was second, Holm was third on the grid but retired on lap 27 with an ignition problem, Higgs was fourth on the grid, Chris Amon was fifth but retired on lap 45 with a broken gearbox, and Surtees started the race from 6th but retired on the very first lap with a broken suspension. After a brilliant drive, Stewart went from 2nd into the lead of the race to win the British Grand Prix from Higgs, who moved up from 4th and was 1 lap down. McLaren climbed from 7th into 3rd, he was 1 lap down as well. Rindt dropped from the lead into 4th, he was also 1 lap down. Courage moved up from 10th into 5th, he was 1 lap down. And Alford, who started the race from 11th, rounded off the top 6, he was 2 laps down. Stewart proved to be the fastest man of the race, posting a time of 1 minute 21.3 seconds on lap 57. And here we are once again at the fascinating Silverstone circuit, where a lap starts off with a short sprint into turn 1, Copse a medium speed right-hander that leads into Maggots a high-speed left-hander, which itself leads into Beckett's a slowish right-hander. This is followed by Chapel a fast left-hander that leads onto the longest straight on the track, the Hanger Straight, which ends with Stowe a medium speed right-hander, followed shortly by Club another medium speed right-hander. Next up is Abbey a high-speed left-hand kink, which takes us into the final corner of the track, Woodcut a fast right-hander that brings us around onto the main straight, and that is a lap around the Silverstone circuit. And here we are in qualifying for the British Grand Prix, coming around to set our first flying lap, a 1:27.49. That's not a very good time, but hopefully we'll be able to improve on that. That will be quite nice. Obviously, it would be nice to start as high up in the field as possible as we come around to improve on that initial lap time to a 1:25.509. that places us in a provisional 10th place, so that's a little bit better, and I kind of gave up after this, so that's pretty much it for qualifying. So let's hope for the best as we now take a look at the previous British Grand Prix winners. We haven't won here in a very long time, actually since 1964, so hopefully Andy's final British Grand Prix, his final home Grand Prix, will be good, but we will have to see. Anyway, we have Higgs on pole with Jackie Oliver in 2nd, John Surtees 3rd, 4th, Brabham 5th, Denny Holm, followed by Bruce McLaren in 6th to round off the top 6. Then in 7th we have Jackie Stewart, followed by Graham Hill in 8th, 9th, Jochen Rindt, 10th, Silvio Moser 11th, Pedro Rodriguez, Johnny Servoz Gavin 12th, 13th, John Love, Jean-Pierre Beltois 14th, 15th is Andy Higgs, still starting from midfield, 16th Chris Amon, 17th Vic Alford, 18th Derek Bell, 19th Pierce Courage, 20th Joe Siffert, Sam Tingle starting from 21st, Van Rooyen 22nd, Bill Brack 23rd, 24th Al Pease, 25th Peter de Klerk, John Courts 26th, 27th is Joe Bonnier, and bringing up the rear of the grid is John Miles in 28th. So that is the grid lineup, and once again hopefully this is going to be a good British Grand Prix. Obviously this is the last home Grand Prix for Andy, and it would be quite nice to end it on a high note. It would be quite important for him, obviously. And that was a relatively awful start. I lost a couple of positions, but as we come into Copse we managed to gain a few more positions as the AI slows down for no apparent reason, and then Pierce Courage overtakes us, so we drop back down to 15th. Then we overtake Courage for 14th as we come through Maggots and charge towards Beckett, and maybe we can overtake Pedro Rodriguez at some point. It looks like that won't happen as Pierce Courage overtakes us on the inside, and we're now back down in 15th as we take a look at a replay of the start. A bit of smoke coming off the rear of my rear wheels, but that's not too much of an issue here as we race towards turn 1, trying to regain a couple the 2 positions I lost at the start, as everyone slows down quite a bit coming into Copse. Not quite sure why, as Pierce Courage there went very wide, and that allowed Andy to move up into 14th. So that's good, as we now are once again chasing after Pedro Rodriguez. Hopefully we'll be able to catch him at some point. Towards the end of lap 2, we catch up to John Love and we overtake him, so we move up into 13th. And we're looking now at Silvio Moser, who is right in front of us, about half a second ahead of us. Something happens to Johnny Servoz Gavin, and we overtake Johnny Servoz Gavin. Silvio Moser there nearly crashed into Silvio Moser. I'm not quite sure what the AI was doing, but that was very close. That could have ended our race. As we come towards the end of lap 3 here, we managed to overtake Moser, so we are now in 11th, and once again chasing after Rodriguez, as we see a replay of Johnny Servoz Gavin going wide through Woodcut there, crashing into the earth mound, losing his front left, and that is his British Grand Prix over. Lap 4 now, and we finally overtake Pedro Rodriguez, and we are now in the top 10. That's quite nice. We're moving up nicely through the field. That's very good, but we still have a lot of work ahead of us. The race is still far from over, but we have time to do a lot of things. As we now move on to lap 5, Jackie Stewart and Jochen Rinder had a scrap 4 position, and we slowed them down quite a lot, which allows Andy to move up into 8th, which is quite nice, as we now chase after Jochen Rindt, and we managed to reel him in by the end of lap 6, just half a second in front of us. As we take a look at a replay of Bill Bragg coming through Woodcut here, and he pulls to the side of the track there. I think he has a problem with his suspension, and that is the end of his race. Lap 7 now, and we're still trying to overtake Jochen Rindt here. Not very successfully, but patience is virtue, and maybe if we wait patiently we'll be able to overtake him eventually. And here is a replay of Silvio Moser going wide through Woodcut and crashes into the dirt mound, loses his front left, and that is the end of his race. And that the same thing happened to Jean-Pierre Beltois pretty much at the same time. Went wide for Woodcut, crashed into the little earth mound there, and that is the end of their Grand Prix as well. And we have a replay of Sam Tingle as well, coming out of that right-hander. I think that was Stowe. Pulls to the side, and that is the end of his race, probably a suspension as well. Towards the end of lap 7, we catch up to Jochen Rindt and overtake him, so we're now in 7th. However, he overtakes us on the outside, and well, we drop back down to 8th. However, he went wide, and that allows me to overtake him once again, and I overtake Surtees as well, so that's 6th, which is very good. However, I go very wide through comps there and lose a bunch of time and a bunch of positions. We drop down to 9th. This is not a very good situation to be in, not this far in the race, but not much we can do now. Lap 8, and we eventually manage to overtake Bruce McLaren, so we move back up into 8th place, but we need to regain a lot of ground, and that's going to be quite difficult. Lap 11, and we eventually catch up to Surtees, and thanks to a back marker we overtake him, so that's 7th. But can we catch up to Jochen Rindt as well and overtake him? That would be quite nice. Still lap 11, and we catch up to Jochen Rindt eventually, and that's 6th place. However, as we come through this right-hander, he overtakes us for a brief moment, but not for long, so we managed to keep 6th place. Denny Holm going there very wide through out of Stowe, so we managed to overtake him as we come into club, slowly reeling in Jack Brabham. And here's a replay of Al Peace, who pulls off to the side of the track, coming through Chapel there, and he's out of the race. Lap 12, and we overtake Jackie Oliver, and we move behind Jack Brabham, but I go wide through Abbey and lose a position, so we're down in 5th. Move in to keep home behind us, or Jochen Rindt, as we now move on to lap 13, and we overtake Jackie Oliver for 4th, and we are chasing after Jack Brabham once again. I see a car in front of us who has smoke coming out of their car. I'm not quite sure who it is, but we eventually overtake Jack Brabham, and that is third place. Very happy about that. Hopefully we'll be able to keep this position. No, we cannot, as Jack Brabham kind of cuts the track and overtakes us, but not for long, as we managed to slip past him once again. That's quite nice. Doing quite well again. And here is a replay of Peter de Klerk. It was him who we saw with smoke coming out of his car. He pulls to the side of the track, and that is his British Grand Prix over. And here is a replay of Chris Amon in the Ferrari coming into Copse. He pulls to the side of the track and goes over the earth mound, and well, pretty much goes on to another plane of existence. Moving on to lap 22 now, and we overtake Graham Hill for second. It took quite a while. It took us quite a while to catch up to Graham Hill and overtake him, but we finally did it, so that's second place. Jackie X would be next. He's about 5 seconds up the road, but there's not a whole lot of time left in the race, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to catch up to him. It would be nice, but I don't think we'll be able to do. As we move on to lap 27, and we cross the line to set the fastest lap of the race, and we have Jackie X right in front of us. Just 2 more laps. Can we actually overtake him? I don't think so, but here's hoping as we take a look at a replay of Andy posting the fastest lap of the race. So we are really on a mission here, trying to do our best. A little bit later on lap 28, and we encounter some back markers. Jackie X got stuck behind them somehow, and we managed to move into the lead, which is absolutely fantastic. I didn't expect this to see something like this. That was very, very lucky. Pretty much as lucky as the Dutch Grand Prix. So I'm quite amazed that that somehow happened as we come around to finish the race and win the British Grand Prix. Jackie X second, Graham Hill third, fourth Brabham, fifth Bruce McLaren, Jackie Oliver is sixth, and of course we managed to post the fastest lap. So couldn't be happier for our home Grand Prix. That is a very, very nice way to end your final home Grand Prix. I'm actually very, very elated. You can probably tell I have difficulty finding the words to express how happy I am about this situation. So yeah, that's quite nice. So let's move on. And here are the career statistics. This was Andy's 179th Grand Prix. His best start is from first, has 17 pole positions, has set 32 fastest laps. His best finishes in first, has completed 108 races, 84 of them in the points, has won 48 Grand Prix, 4 at the Indianapolis 500, 6 in Monaco, has 8 championships under his belt, has scored a total of 569 points, has retired 71 times, has experienced 3,709 out of 4,659 laps, has 8 bronze trophies, 17 silver trophies, 48 gold trophies, and as an extension 48 podiums. And here is a quick look at the championship standings. Andy Higgs extends his lead at the top of the standings. Jackie X is second, Jackie Stewart, Jack Brabham, Bruce McLaren, and Jean-Pierre Beltois sharing third. The last person with points is Mario Andretti down in 16th, and bringing up the bottom of the driver standings is Richard Atwood down in 30th. So those are the drivers. Let's now move on to the constructors, where we have Pete Lovely Volkswagen Incorporated extending their lead in the championship. Brabham moving up into second, Matra dropping to third. Fourth are Gold Leaf Team Lotus, Bruce McLaren Motor Racing fifth. Sharing sixth are Owen Racing Organization and Frank Williams Racing Cars. The last team with points are Scuderia Ferrari in 9th, and bringing up the bottom of the constructors are Rec Parnell Racing down in 18th. So that was the British Grand Prix. Quite a good finish there for both Andy and Volkswagen. So doing very well this season. I'm very, very happy about how things are coming along. Obviously we had a little bit of luck here, just like during the Dutch Grand Prix where Jackie Stewart went off track for whatever reason, and that allowed us to take the lead of the race and win the Dutch Grand Prix. And this situation was pretty similar, although this time Jackie X didn't went off the track, he was just stuck in traffic. And we managed to take advantage of that somehow and that's how we won the British Grand Prix, and I'm very happy about the outcome, so yeah. But that is it for the British Grand Prix. Our next race is the German Grand Prix at the Nordschleife. I'm looking forward to it, obviously. The Nordschleife is my all-time favorite circuit, so it should be good, although we didn't do very well in the past couple of seasons there, so here's hoping that this time it will be a little bit better. If this season shows anything, is that things can change out of the blue, so who knows, maybe we'll do well at the German Grand Prix. But we'll obviously have to wait and see how things turn out. But that is the end of this video. Don't forget to vote for next season's team. And don't forget to vote for a name for Andy's son. Links are in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, stay sharp.